Hey, this is my Monument Denali 605 Pro. It's really dirty now. Do you know why? Because I've been testing the heck out of it. This video is going to cover everything you ever wanted to know about this grill, and it starts now. I'm going to be reviewing the Denali 605 Pro. This is not sponsored. This is not paid for. I paid for this grill myself, and hopefully this review will be one of the more completely honest reviews of a gas grill. These are the boxes. One weighs 118 pounds, the other one weighs 78 pounds, and looks like we got a lot of work ahead of us. I'm not going to torture you with assembly. I will talk about any stumbling blocks I may hit, but there are plenty of videos already out there discussing assembly, so there's just no reason for me to do that. And hopefully next time it'll be assembled and ready for testing.
2 hours later.
Okay, the grill is assembled, and just a couple things that I wanted to mention. First of all, it was quite easy to put together. I'll admit the truth, I did not read the assembly instructions. I simply went on to Monument's YouTube channel and watched the assembly video, followed it step by step. It was easy. I did a couple things different. I put the hood on at the end, which they recommend putting it on before you install it onto the cabinet. The other thing I did was I installed the grill caddy when I assembled the base. They recommend installing it at the end. Not a big deal. Everything went well. Really no complaints at all. I'll go over some of the features real quick. There are plenty of videos that show this, but let me show you. Side sear burner. Uses electronic ignition. 6 burners in total. One of them is a sear burner. It runs the length of the grill. It's fairly narrow, and it has a pretty narrow heat zone. You'll see later. Ceramic coated cast iron grill grates, warming rack, chicken leg holders, insulated cover, even has the brand name on it. It does help reduce some of the heat on the outside of the grill, just a little bit at least. So at least, you know, hopefully you don't sear your hand if you accidentally touch it, or if the kids come up and touch it. Built-in thermometer, little computer. Not only does it show you the temperature of the grill, but it also has 2 meat probes that you can use to monitor the temperature of the food that you're cooking. Those are your basic features. Oh, and the lighted dials, obviously. It's daytime, so you can't really tell, but they do glow red or orange, depending upon the heat setting. All in all, so far it seems like a great grill. There's a little bit of storage underneath. It is open in the top half of the back. I wish it was fully enclosed, but that's simply a design choice. The casters roll really easy, and all 4 of them are lockable, so it should be extremely steady once it's all locked into place. We're going to do some testing on the grill. I'm going to do some heat mapping, and you can see how evenly the grill cooks. And then after that, we'll do some cooking. Okay, the grill's been running for about 15 minutes now, and the temperature has settled almost exactly on 450 degrees. Each burner is set right in the middle of the 4th notch, except for the sear burner. I have that all the way on low, because my assumption is that it runs a lot hotter than the regular gas burners. So a little bit of an experiment, but that's my guess, is that that's going to be about even. Put the bread on. right, 60 seconds. Okay, it's been a minute. Some observations. Monument does a really good job at some pretty even heat. Obviously, the sear burner, even on low, yeah, that gets ripping hot. So other than this zone right here, which obviously is your sear zone anyway, you get some really even heat. A little bit of a hot spot in the upper right-hand corner. I'm sorry, upper left-hand corner. Otherwise, pretty much you lay burgers anywhere but right over the sear burner, you're going to have pretty even cooking time. It's a little cooler in the front, as expected. It's probably drawing in a little cool air from under the hood. But that's, I'm a little surprised. I honestly expected some really hot spots. As I said, the grill was pretty much settled on 450, and each burner was set to the 4th notch. Well done, Monument. I have some leftover bread, so out of curiosity, I'm going to test if I can get any browning on this top rack, on the warming rack, or the chicken rack, or if you're hanging legs off. But I'm just curious to see how even the heat would be up here. And then if I have enough bread, I'm going to do a test of just over the sear burner area, because I'm curious, because this is such a long, narrow burner, I'm curious if I could just fire up this burner and cook a steak. So I'm kind of curious about how much of a heat spot I'm going to get. So anyway, let me warm this grill up again, and we'll do a quick test. All right, we're up to temperature, and let's throw the bread on. Let's give it a minute, see what happens. Okay, let's take a look at what we got. There we go. That's over the sear burner, which I had on low. So you'll definitely not want to put anything above this burner if it's on, above the sear burner, as you can definitely see. A little cooler on this side, not too bad. Everyone is toasted golden brown. The middle right here is probably your sweet spot. This is probably a no-go zone unless you actually want to cook something here. And this is nice golden brown too. Very even. I mean, to be honest, better than I would have expected. Another successful test. Okay, so the sear burner has been running for about 10 minutes. It's only the sear burner. It's on medium heat. And let's see what it looks like if I just use this burner to cook a steak. It's been about 30 seconds and I already see the bread smoking, so I'm just going to turn the burner off. Alright, so it's pretty obvious that unless I'm cooking something like a sirloin strip, if I cook a big ribeye on here, all the heat's going to be right in the middle. Maybe if I crank these two up on high and keep this one on medium to low, I'll get some better browning on the edges, as we saw in the full test. But I think for a large steak, this burner is probably not up to the task. If I was doing shrimp skewers, I could probably stack 3 skewers right here, give them a quick sear, flip them, give them a quick sear, take them off, be fine. New York strip, you know, maybe it's as wide as this piece of bread at the most, right over that burner, should be perfect. But if it's a big round steak, just using this burner is probably not ideal. Nonetheless, I probably will be cooking a lot just using this burner. I think this answers all my questions. At this point, I'm ready to actually start grilling something. I have some chicken. I have some chicken legs that I'm going to hang, and yeah, let's test this bad boy out finally. Okay, we're going to cook some chicken. This is tandoor chicken. It's a masala seasoning, some yogurt, ginger. Okay, let's close it up. Let those cook. The finished product. I wish I could convey how well this how well this came out and how good it smells. I'm going to be making a brisket now. I just picked this up from the local butcher. It should be pretty well trimmed up and ready to rock. We're going to dress it up and then throw it on the grill. Let's go. Okay, got the smoker box going. Time to put the brisket on. Next step, wrap it in aluminum foil. Okay, you know, a feature I didn't mention was that this has actually 2 built-in meat probes, and I am using it to monitor the temperature of this brisket, and it's bouncing between 203 and 205, so I think I'm calling it good at this point. Just going to shut this off. I'm going to let it rest and serve it up. Okay, the brisket's done. I sliced it up for my wife, and as you can see, it just pulls apart. That's a fairly thick piece. Want to taste it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's good. It's really good.
Oh man. I think I might have mine a sandwich. Okay. I gotta plate her meal up and wash my fingies. But here's the finished product. Wrapped it in aluminum, cooked it off until it got to the right temperature. It's foolproof. Gonna put a little barbecue sauce on it and ready to rock. Okay, just tested the chicken. Internal temperature is 165, and we are ready to pull it off. Whew. Another hot day in the desert, and some more chicken to cook off. While I was getting set up for this, I had some thoughts that I want to pass on to Monument, and that is these holes for the chicken drumsticks. At least where I live, out here in the scorching desert, 105 degrees at 10 in the morning, they don't really fit into the small holes easily. very few of these chicken legs will fit into the small hole. Most of them will fit into the larger ones. So it does a great job. I love it. This is like the fourth time I've made chicken legs on the grill. But if I could pass on the suggestion, I really wish that Monument would skip the smaller ones, just go with the bigger holes, and maybe increase the spacing between these racks, maybe a millimeter or two, because, like, for instance, a couple of these aren't even narrow enough to fit in the slot, so I kind of have to carefully hang it where the hole is. For instance, like this one, and this big old leg right here, I really can't get it in between the slot. So just a suggestion, maybe just slightly widen a millimeter, 2 millimeters, and skip these small ones. Just go solely with these larger ones. It makes life a lot easier. It's a small complaint, but hey, if I'm reviewing it, I'm going to tell you what I found. And this is what I found. Let's see how a filleted pork loin does on this grill. Smells great. Oh, looking good. I think we're about ready to take this off. Well, summer is basically over, and I have used this Monument grill quite a bit. I want to remind you that this is not a sponsored video. I purchased this grill online. I even ordered some accessories with it. It was something that I just decided to do on my own. I needed a new grill. I had a high-end grill previously, and I was actually looking at some of the high-end grills for, upwards of $1,000 or so, and I decided to buy this Monument. It just seemed to have all the features that I wanted. So I just want to talk a little bit about my experience throughout the last couple months. I like the construction of it. It's not a very heavy grill, but it seems to be quite well made. It doesn't rack when you move it. The wheels glide nice, so no complaints there. I like the lighted knobs. It's kind of a nice thing at nighttime. I like the fact that they change color to let you know that it's on high or close to high. I like that the sear burner knobs are red, though one interesting thing that I pointed out, the sear burner that's inside the grill has a red knob, but the external sear burner grill has a black knob. I think they probably should include a red knob for that sear burner also. It just kind of makes sense, like the sear burner would just be a red knob. Anyway, that's just one of the little things. I'll talk about functionality in a minute. I like the temperature monitor and the temp sensors. I've used the temperature probe for a few things, like roasting a chicken and whatnot. Works great. It's accurate. I tested it against my other, and it was in like 2 degrees. So it's right on, and it's easy. You just plug it in the front and go. Really, works great. I also like the starter for the internal sear burner. It's not an electronic ignition. It's not the same ignition as the regular burners. It uses the Napoleon style, I think they call it Jetfire, ignition system, where it shoots a flame down the burner. The only thing that you probably need to be aware of is that when you ignite it, you need to push it in and turn it. It'll click, but hold it in for a couple seconds. Let the flame travel down the burner and get it ignited, then let go. And that's all you need to know. And that works really well. I have not had a single problem starting that burner. The upper rack, the rack for the for your hamburger buns, or when you're cooking chicken legs, which I do often. I love the fact that it has the holes for the chicken legs. I don't know if they're raising chickens around nuclear power plants or what, but the knuckles on most of the chicken legs that I get are too big for the smaller sized holes that are included on the rack. So half the holes are large, maybe an inch, maybe close to an inch around. Those work great. The smaller ones, unless the chicken leg is really small, I really have a tough time getting them through the hole. So if I were Monument, or if I were to be able to tell Monument something, it would be have the rack redesigned exactly the same way, but just make all the holes larger. That would be nice, because then you can hang a baker's dozen worth of chicken legs, and it'll be a lot easier, let me tell you. So if you ever redesign it, send me one, Monument. Come on now. The rotisserie worked fine. I've tested it out a couple times. No problems. As long as you get your chicken fairly centered on the lock, now we'll just call them the locking pins, you shouldn't have any problems. But I will say that any chicken that's larger than about 4 to 4.5 pounds can be a problem. Not a problem, but you may have to take the grill racks out so that it clears the rack while it's turning. I did a 3.5 pound chicken, and it cleared. Oh, it just cleared, which is great, but it just barely cleared. I did about a 4.5 pound chicken, and that was a struggle. Either you'd have to tie it up a little bit to kind of keep it more compressed, or just take the racks out. The grill grates, the cast iron grill grates, just take them out. Otherwise, it works fine. Great, no problem. And speaking of the grill grates, they have held up really well. They clean pretty easily. I don't know, the ceramic coating might just be better than even my previous grill was, but I find that these are a little easier to clean up. So I'm not complaining. It's not a problem. And so anyway, all in all, very pleased. I have used the heck out of this grill. I have cooked everything from chicken, steaks, burgers, hot dogs, carne asada, pollo asada, stuff that's really messy and really makes a mess of the grill, and it's cleaned up every time. So and it's performed really well. Like the carne asada put really nice color on it, and steaks. Well, let me just get into my overall opinions on cooking. Anywhere on the grill, you can get grill marks on a piece of meat. So you can get grill marks on a burger, you can get grill marks on hot dogs, obviously you can get grill marks on carne asada, you can get grill marks on steaks. So anywhere on that grill surface, you can put color on something. The internal sear burner is perfect for like a New York strip, or if you like your burgers more like black and pink. Like I like everything black and blue. Even my burgers, I actually like them to be slightly raw. And that internal sear burner is perfect for that. And so I do cook a lot of New York strips. Just the shape of it, it's perfect for a New York strip. I have cooked a ribeye with the sear burner, but you have to run the adjacent burners on high, and maybe keep that sear burner at about medium to kind of get an even color on your steak. The sear burner, it does a great job doing a steak, but the heat profile, or where it's really hot, is probably only about 3.5 inches, maybe 4 inches. So for a New York strip, it's perfect. For a larger steak, you got to run those adjacent burners on high. You really got to run them on high to kind of get an even cook. So that's that. Performance has been great. You saw the toast test. It's very even heat, except over the sear burner. If you didn't run the sear burner, you're going to have a little bit of a cool spot over where that sear burner is. But all in all, I have no complaints. I even bought some accessories, and I'll show you what I got. right now. Okay, I got 2 accessories for it, and hey, that's just me. You can do you. One was the diamond cross grid. It is actually a little heavier duty than the grid that goes over the internal sear burner. It's actually a little heavier duty. It's really nice, and honestly, uh, you might just want to pick one up as a spare in case that the one that comes with it ever goes bad. Oh, I'm going to put this down. Okay, the next thing is cast iron cooking plate. Why did I get this? Because I really like airplanes going over when I talk. Let's pause this. Okay, plane is gone. Now, the other thing is this cast iron cooking plate. It has a grid top and a flat top. So if you like smash burgers, perfect. And if you like that seared chicken breast, perfect on the grill, the grid top on the grill side. So I did get this, and I also got the diamond cross plate. Oh, and both of them work great. So those are the accessories that I bought. It does come with a cover, which is kind of nice. So this is my honest opinion. Is it worth the money? Yeah. I looked at a lot of grills that were in the same price range, and a lot of them promised to be, super heavy duty, last you a lifetime, this, that, and the other. And honestly, I was not that impressed. I didn't like the fact that they had a lot of plastic on them. I mean, the Monument Grill does have plastic on the end caps, but high-end grills that were reaching, well, in the low thousands had plastic on them. And I know what's going to happen, especially where I live in the desert Southwest, where it's brutally hot, half the year. That plastic's going to end up crumbling. It's not a knock on Monument. It's going to happen to this, but it's also going to happen on those higher end grills that even cost more money. So, all in all, when I looked at what I wanted out of a grill, which was a sear burner inside the grilling compartment. It has an external sear burner, which is great because I do not need a regular side burner. It's useless to me. Anyway, you could use it to warm a pot of chili or whatever. I mean, just put it on low and you'd be fine. The grilling surface is insanely large. You could probably have a party of 20, 30 people and have no problem grilling burgers and whatnot, steaks. It's almost more than what I need, but hey, it had what I wanted. So would I recommend it? Yes. Will it last 20 years? I don't know. The burners probably will. And if you take care of it and keep it covered all the time, it could. I'd be happy if I get 10 years out of it like my last grill. And I think that's doable as long as you keep it covered. And it's a big recommend. And the window. Do not underestimate how handy that window is. When I cook chicken, and like I said, I cook chicken a lot, so I have it hanging off the upper rack. It is so nice to not open the grill and just be able to look and see what's cooking. And to clean it, just put some Easy Off on a rag, like a lightly dampened rag. Put some Easy Off on it, wipe it down, leave it on for a couple minutes, wipe it off, nice and clean. Nothing like good old fashioned Easy Off or Walmart lye grill cleaner or whatever. That stuff works. So anyway, this has been a long video. I recommend it. I think you're going to like it. I certainly like it, and I'm really fussy about grills. So take that for what it's worth. I'm Atomic Dog. If you've stayed through this whole video, God love you. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe if you want. You don't have to. You can hit the like button if you so choose. I just did this to get the word out that this grill company's out there, and they make a high-end grill that actually does a good job. So anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. God bless, and be safe.